All right, so let's talk about what's hiding behind the fear of the unknown. Now, anytime you try something new, there's always that thing that comes up, what if? But let me ask you this question. What if the unknown was everything that you needed to become who you truly were? Now, this is speaking from somebody who has faced fears over and over again and found out what's on the inside and what's on the other side of fear. And I'll tell you what I found out. The first thing you find is that fear is just an amplification of all the doubt that's coming into your head. Because the first thing you see is the loneliness. Now, the loneliness comes when you're pursuing something new, and then when you start making those steps, you start looking around and like, I don't see nobody that used to be standing next to me. And the fact about that is the loneliness is actually where your classroom starts. It clears out all the distraction and gives you nothing but silence. Now, the thing about loneliness is when you turn back around and go back to what's familiar, then you miss out on everything that comes after that. But if you stick in that loneliness, you'll realize that everybody who you were looking for to clap for you and pat you on the back as you're going for it, they are not part of this journey. This is yours. This is a solo journey that we're going through. You make it past that loneliness, then comes the confusion. The confusion comes is when you're not so deep into it that you don't know it's working, but you're just enough into it to where you feel like something's going right, but then you get all that doubt and stuff coming in clouding up your judgment. That confusion is like I don't know if it's gonna work because you still don't have those people clapping for you. You still don't have them saying you can do it, you can do it. This is where it starts to get a little hard because what we're used to is we're used to people picking us up when we're down, patting us on the back saying good job, but none of that stuff is there. That loneliness starts to take a hold on you and it will pull you down into it and make you turn back around and go back to where you came from just so you can be among the people, just so they can say, well, you did a good job, you tried. You go a little past that and then you start to see something different. You start to see that all that loneliness and all that doubt and all that confusion, it starts to fizzle out a little bit. And when it starts to fizzle out, then you start to realize that, hey, I might belong here, but it still ain't rough right. It still ain't settled yet. You know, you still got a little bit of turbulence to go through. You know, and it reminds me of like when back in the day, I was in ROTC, and I was 14 years old. And what happened is I thought I was going to go to the military, and one chance encounter had me going on a completely different path. I started playing football at 14 years old. I never played a game, never even watched a game. But in a couple of years' time, I ended up getting a scholarship to go to college. Now, how did I do that? Well, the thing is, I leaned into it and I stayed even when I was terrified. I stayed even though I didn't know what I was doing. And then I let my body catch up to what my mind already knew, that this was my path. And I embraced it. I took the pain every single day and turned it into motivation. Now, this doesn't mean that it's going to happen fast, because most of the times, like now that we're in, we're up there in age, like the things, they don't happen as fast anymore, mainly because we got so many things that are keeping us, that has our obligations. We got jobs now. We got families to take care of. We got houses to look after. We got pets to look after. We got so many other things that we got to do before we even think about ourselves. So this is why it extends the path. But why it seems like nothing is happening is because of, social media, and all we're doing is watching people's highlight reels on stuff. And life just don't happen as fast as how you can flip through your phone. It doesn't. Everything takes a while. But it all kind of depends on how far you're willing to lean into it before you start seeing results. Now, once you start seeing results, it's still not over. And that's where most people start coasting a little bit. Because once you start getting comfortable and you start getting gassed up on yourself, then that's where all that sedentary stuff, and then you start slipping back and start going back to where you were. Because you feel like I'm the man now. I got something going on. and now I can coast a little bit. But that's when you actually got to push the gas even harder, because once you start hitting that higher angle, you got to keep going faster, because you are going at an angle and you will slip back down slowly and end up right back to where you started. Now, I'm saying this because it happened to me. I've had a lot of opportunities. Some slipped right through my fingers because I thought I was in a good spot to just coast, when all I had to do was keep going even harder and faster, and then I would have been in a completely different place. I'm not saying I didn't make it, I did, but I put myself through a lot more pain that I shouldn't even have had to go through, mainly because I started easing up. Now, the fear of the unknown is nothing but everything around you telling you that it's not the right path, because all you think about is what could go wrong. But you have to start thinking about what could go right. What happens at the end of this when I do make it? What lesson am I going to learn after I make it through these hard parts? Who am I going to become after I finish this thing? Sometimes you don't actually get the thing that you want. Like I tried to pursue the NFL and I didn't make it. But the thing is when I went after it and I didn't make it, but it opened up so many different opportunities for me, mainly because of all the lessons I had to learn in order to even get to that point. And my life has never been the same just because I endured that pain. I endured all the doubt, all the punishment, the pain, the confusion, all that stuff. And on the other side of that, it opened up a whole new way of life for me. And I've lived like the wildest life ever, mainly because I didn't quit. Now I realize that, quitting is something that, it's not something that, we think about too much, but quitting is painful. It lasts a lifetime. And when you quit, then what happens is it burns you. And all you think about is whenever you see something that reminds you of that thing that you tried to go after once, it's just a quick reminder, and it burns internally. It burns in silence. And it tells you, yeah, you gave up, but what if you didn't give up? Yeah, you did quit. What if you didn't quit? Where would you be at right now? And your mind starts making all these crazy stories about what if. And those crazy stories could have been actually your life if you just didn't quit. The unknown is a very uncomfortable place, but it's something that you have to go through if you want anything in this life. And I'm not speaking just from, I don't read stuff from books like that. I do it from lived experience. I've done things over and over again, even when I had no clue what was going on, even if I had no clue what to do, but I just did something. And then the fact that if you do something, you're gonna get a little message that tells you, all right, you're going the right direction. Okay, here's the next step. Like, it's hard to explain sometimes, but when you go after certain things, and when you go after things that really prove who you are, things that, make your heart fulfilled, like the world has a way of just opening up for you and just showing you the next path in it. And most of the time it is confusing. It is lonely. It is hard. But the stuff that you get after getting all that stuff is undeniable. And it changes your life, regardless if you get what you thought you were going to get, or you get just a lesson from it. So if you're somebody who is going through something, if you're pursuing something that, you look around and nobody else is doing, and now you feel weird because nobody can relate to you, you could be a black sheep. You just could be just a different person. You could be a loner. You could be any of those things. But don't give up just because the people around you are not cheering for you. Most of the time they don't cheer for you, but they will cheer for you after you get done with it, because it's victory by association then. And everybody likes a winner. Nobody talks about losers, but everybody likes to talk about winners. And if you're watching this video and you made it to this part, I know that you're a winner, because something hit you now. Something is speaking to you right now, and you got something in mind that you're thinking about, like, yo, I'm in the middle of this right now, and I don't know what to do. Well, I can tell you this, I don't know what you're supposed to do either, but I can tell you this, you got to keep going. So no matter what you're doing, just do not stop. Embrace the unknown, because as scared as you are, every step that you take, it dissolves that fear. every step that you go deeper into it, you realize that you never needed anybody in the first place because you are all that you ever needed. Now, if this kind of stuff resonates with you, just send it to somebody that you know that's going through that. Like and subscribe, man, because like we are all we got, man. And you only got one of these lives that you can live. So that's all I got for you. Just a little motivation on the Friday just to help you get through the weekend. Something to let simmer in your pot real quick. But y'all have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.